What do you think is driving corruption in the system?
To be frank, my salary has not been increased for the past 5 years.
We seem to see more arrests involving civil servants.
Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another episode of Beyond the Headlines. My name is Hana Nazharun, your host for today. And for this episode, we'll be talking about a critical and important topic that affects every Malaysian: corruption. Malaysia has improved its position in the global corruption rankings, moving up 4 spots from 61st to 57th out of 180 countries, and raising its score from 47 to 50 after a downward trend since 2019. Transparency International Malaysia attributes this progress to the recent investigations, arrests and convictions in high-profile cases by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, over the past 2 years. The agency, led by Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki, remains dedicated to combating corruption, abuse of power and misappropriation. And for this special, we have the Anti-Graft Chief himself here in the studio to share more on enhancing anti-corruption strategies and governance. Welcome, Tan Sri, to Beyond the Headlines.
Yeah, how are you? Both of you?
I'm good.
You look good.
Also with me, I have NST's Associate Editor, Najmuddin Najib, to help broaden the discussion further.
Hi, Hannah.
Naj, thank you for being here.
No worries. My pleasure.
Okay, so Tan Sri, let's dive into our discussion. As I briefly mentioned in the intro, Malaysia saw its performance in the Corruption Perception Index improve from 61 in 2022 to 57 in 2023. And this is the first uptick since a consistent slide from 2019. So what do you attribute this to?
Thank you to both of the moderator today. Firstly, I must say that I personally disagree with this index, or what we call CPI index. The name is Corruption Perception Index. What do you mean by perception here? How you perceive somebody or the person, and then if you like it, then you perceive negative. If you like, then you will perceive it negatively. After many years, that MACC have been shown that responsibility to as to how to enhance the scores. But very unfortunate, it keep out coming up and down. Even now, when you say that for the part we have increased our index compared to 2 years ago, but doesn't mean for this year. I'm still cross my finger.
Okay.
Cross my finger about whether that we can make it better for this year. But anyway, I don't want to put that as a reason, because there is the challenges for the whole world.
Of course.
Out of 180 countries, we are facing the challenges that how we have been perceived by this Transparency International, is an international NGOs. They could be do the survey with a very small respondent, and these people could be people who like or dislike us. But what I'm going to say here about the initiative that have been done ever since last year, I really admire the Honourable Yang Muhammad Perdana Menteri, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, for his political will and his strong leadership, his steadfastness in making this country look well, and his agenda in fighting corruption. I think that's the most important element, in a way that if you want to be seen that we are actually fighting corruption, we can't actually we can't clear this country from corruption anyway. Because if you compare with some other countries, for example, if you look at the Financial Secrecy Index, FSI, country like our neighbor country like Singapore is among the top 10 country who involved in money laundering. Top 10. We are among the best, actually. So actually, CPI, they should look also into that scores, that survey, because so much money laundering is connected with corruption activities.
I see.
So anyway, as I said, that because of political will by the government, and then it shows how that government is very strong in agenda in fighting corruption. Other than that, I say that we also the commitment also reflected through the effective enforcement that we have done until now, as what we've discussed earlier before this. You can see our action in busting the syndicate members in smuggling activities involving many public officers who have been entrusted to collect revenues.
The latest being in Port
The
Klang.
latest in Port Klang issues, for example, where we discovered yesterday about 4.4 million cash money from them, about 11 of the custom officers. Before that, 34 of custom officers at KLIA. The whole division of the officers were arrested, and now we are charging them one by one. And some we are also concentrating on the high-profile cases and also public interest cases. These are the elements that I may say, quote unquote, required by Transparency International, that we have to show our effort, our endeavor in fighting corruption in this country. Other than that, could be they wanted to look into our plan. So we have recently launched a National Anti-Corruption Plan, NACS, for 2024 to 2028, and replacing the old plan, NACP, National Anti-Corruption Plan, which ended last year in December. And also, Yang Amat Muhammad Perdana Menteri had issued his directive, Arahan Yang Amat Muhammad Perdana Menteri 2023. That is for the jawatan to form jawatan kuasa tata kelola, they call it, national governance, through the establishment of National Governance Committee at the federal and state level.
Right.
And then it was launched on the 8th January 2024, and the directive aims to strengthen good governance in the government administration through 4 focus areas. I have to read this one because it's quite academic here. One is focus on institutional policy and law reforms. Secondly, system and procedures. Thirdly, monitoring and evaluation. And fourthly, promoting values and good governance culture. And last but not least, our effort in trying to enhance our index, our CPI index. Cabinet had agreed with our suggestion on the 8th May 2024 to form a special task force on CPI to propose strategies to improve Malaysia's scores and ranking in CPI. The task force will scrutinize matters pertaining to gaps identified in the surveys and strategies to highlight countries' actual achievement in good governance. So we are talking about good governance here. We are talking about tata kelola here. So apart from enforcement activities shouldered on MACC, we also been entrusted to monitor and to look into many things. For example, good governance, law reforms, and other things, and also create good culture in the public and also in the private sectors.
Tan Sri, let's touch on the NACS for a bit. In the previous 2019-2023 National Anti-Corruption Plan, MACC successfully implemented 85 out of 111 initiatives. So this is an achievement rate of about 77%. And for NACS, what are your new targets?
Yeah, I may say that we all have a dream here. You have ambition to achieve the target 100%. They make it 100. You want to achieve it 100%.
Right.
But I don't think so that we can achieve 100%. Last year, we have achieved about 70% and all that. UK experience, they achieve about 80%. Their initiative could be. I hope that from now until 2028 we can achieve around 80%.
I see.
I think that's the best I can see.
80% is a good benchmark lah.
The most important thing here about the in execution of the NACS, I've just talked to my director who actually lead in this division. We call it Bahagian Pengurusan Tata Kelola, Governance and Tata Kelola in MACC. Before that, DB is GIACC, Governance Integrity Anti-Corruption Center, where we should prioritize first. We should focus on the critical area. For example, law reforms. This actually about law reform in any agencies and organization in Malaysia. It's not about MACC instigate them or promote them to look into the weaknesses in the law, which is old and everything. But they actually have to look into it, where the law or procedures which is lacking, and will create more loopholes
I see.
in the system and procedures. So we have to do more engagement with many agencies. That will be the biggest challenges here.
I see.
We have some in pipeline. For example, I think about the law reform in MACC Act. We are looking to the deferred prosecution agreement, for example.
Sorry?
Deferred prosecution agreement,
Deferred
where
prosecution, okay.
actually it's a law that will, I may say, it's about a law where we wanted to promote a kind of a settlement here for corporate liability cases.
I see.
Okay.
We don't want to go for a longer trial.
Okay.
For example, cases you can example cases in UK involving one big agency like Rolls-Royce and all that.
Right.
These are the cases where it involve big chunk of money,
Yeah.
and then there's kind of a monitoring system after that organization been investigated, and then the prosecution will be deferred.
I see.
And if they follow all the kind of procedure put to them, and then they will be carried away in certain period of time.
I see.
So one of it, and other one is misconduct in public office. We try to introduce the law, and we will try to convince government. This misconduct in public office is about a law where a misconduct by public officer will become a criminal act.
I see.
Where if their act resulted to losses to the government revenues.
I see.
Hong Kong have this law, and we wanted to look into how effective of this law. These are the things that for one initiative, it could be we will have to take time for it. For example, for us to do the research survey and all that, it will cost us about 1 or 2 years, or could be 3 years.
Right.
So you just imagine about out of 66 initiative we have here.
Right.
It's not, for me. It's not about the numbers.
Okay.
How many that we can complete, we can accomplish. But it's about the impactful of the or the implementation of the strategy.
I suppose initiatives like that will basically have the impact that is needed, especially when it comes to cases like this pork claim issue, right?
Yes.
Where you have civil servants whose acts have directly impacted government revenue.
Yeah.
So now that's the issue. For example, at the Klang area, Klang port cases, for example, what is the leakage in the system and procedure? What makes revenues being leaked out? You know, these are the things. Is that because of the system and procedure, because of the law, or because of the human factors?
Right.
So these are the things. I cannot give the answer now
Yeah.
until the investigation completed. But I may say from my experience that there is a way that the system and procedure to be checked.
Okay.
So custom department, I thank you to. I really appreciate the new Director General of Custom Department, Dato' Anis. She's very adamant. She's very committed, and this is the case where we do joint investigation with her officers, trusted officers. I'm saying, quote unquote.
Okay.
You know.
Done in tandem. Okay. Okay. Tan Sri, if I may, I would like to touch on the aspect of whistleblowers.
Okay.
Especially on the financial incentive offered to whistleblowers. Now, it was previously reported that between 2012 and 2023, now civil servants who reported or shared information on corruption with MCC would receive financial incentives.
Yeah.
And I think
it's $1 to $1.
Okay, $1.
You've been offered 100 ringgit, we will give you 100 ringgit.
I see.
okay.
I
If
see.
you've been offered 1 million, we will give back. The government will give you,
I
not
see.
me. The government will give you 1 million.
Right. So between that period, I think it was reported that more than 1 million had been given out, right?
Yeah,
To these
so far.
whistleblowers. Yeah. So this new NACS that was announced in May said this scheme will also be expanded to the general public, right? Or are you able to share with us a little bit on what is going to be
It's
the
a part
mechanism?
of under NACS. I may say it's still a proposal, but the initiative under NACS, I supported that one. But we have to work on the specific and optimal procedures with lead agencies that is under bahagian hal ehwal undang-undang
Okay.
for the Prime Minister Office,
Law reform.
where I may say it like this: Whistleblower Act, Protection Act 2010, firstly need to be reformed. We agree on that. And Bayu, BHEU, I call it Bayu. Bayu in the pipeline, in the progress of progressing in amending the law.
Okay.
And I may claim here, MACC the only law enforcement agency who are using this law effectively and actively.
I see.
There are procedure here where the whistleblower need to be registered and all that. If you check my statement for the past, even for the past 7 years, I've been promoting to public that come here and become our whistleblower. You know, we have three type of people who come forward to us. One is a real complainant, we call it. He's not a report. They are not reporter like you. They are complainant. They come forward and they lodge complaint or report to us. Secondly, they are our informant. Informant are the people who been protected. The identity will be
Kept confidential.
will be communicated. Will be so we can't reveal their identity.
Yeah.
So they are well protected, and there is a program for that, for the informant. Thirdly, the whistleblower. Before we have the Whistleblower Protection Act in 2010, we only have these two, informant and also the complainant.
Okay.
So these two, complainant, for example, they have to go to court.
Yes.
So you know, not many people wanted to. I think I may say from our record, about below than 5% people come forward telling us, I want to become a complainant, I want to lodge complaint here, I'm ready to testify in court.
It's a very low rate. Less than
Very low
5%.
rate.
Yeah.
Other than that, we are proactively collecting information from our intelligence, from various sources, from media and all that.
All right.
Of course, we need to verify the information. When it comes to informant, as I said earlier, their identity is well protected. But when whistleblower is something that they come to us, they lodge complaint, but their identity at that moment, and also their identity will be protected, cannot be revealed. And if there is kind of detrimental action taken against them by their employer, so we can take action against whoever takes detrimental action against the whistleblower.
I see.
So now, Bayu is come to the extent that wanted to reward these people. I think we have to put up some clear mechanism here as how to reward the whistleblower. I think that's a good idea because by suggesting or by to propose a reward to whistleblower, could be it will encourage people to come forward and to do more complaint, especially to MACC.
Yeah.
I may say we are too much different from police department, where people come and lodge complaint.
Yeah.
They come to police and report about many cases, traffic cases and all that, murder cases. But for MACC cases, it is different because you are talking about many things, not about yourself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's about somebody else.
Yes.
So you just imagine, let's say, what apa lupa nama dia? Farhana. Yeah. Go to report about Najib. I mean, your colleague. How could you come to MACC and saying that Najib is a corrupted person? I want to lodge a report against Najib. I'm ready to testify in court. I think just imagine, and my friend from other countries, from the anti-graft agencies, also having the same problem. These are the challenges where we need people to come forward. So, to give reward to the whistleblower is one a good thing, and then could be not similarly as what reward given to the public officers.
Okay.
Because in the case of public officers, they reported to MACC due to some gratification offered to them.
Yes.
And after the case ended with conviction, then they will be rewarded.
I see.
In the case, the case offered to them about 1 million,
Okay.
or given to them 1 million, $1 million to dollar will be given back
So
to them.
1 to 1. Okay.
Yeah, 1 to 1.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Tan Sri, okay, I would like to shift your attention a bit to the perception of MACC.
Again, it's not perception.
Perception, yes. Now, Malaysia has witnessed a change in government many times already in recent years. BN and then PH, Perikatan,
I
and now
don't do all that.
and now the unity government. You know,
Yeah.
and every single time the opposition would accuse MACC as being weaponized, as being used as a political tool, political weapon.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to ever change that perception?
It's very difficult to change the perception because it's indeed a difficult. It takes educated and mature society to understand the legal processes involved. I've been telling people that we have, in principle, we have a separation of powers principles in this country.
Yeah.
Be the executive.
Judiciary,
legislative and
Yes.
also judiciary.
Yeah.
And I'm telling people, yes, we will work, we only will investigate when there's a complaint. You think people believe that? Including you both, Hannah and Najib. I'm not surprised. You know, I'm a second generation after 1967, after MACC, BPR.
BPR.
Or ACE at that time established in 1967, 1st October. I joined in 1984. And I become senior officer in 2008. That's why when I talk to my officers, to my subordinate, I always mark 2008 as a starting point where all kind of political challenges began from that period.
Okay.
I can say something here. 2008, where Barisan Nasional lost about 5 states
Yes.
or 6 states at that time. And the parliament seat reduced, and first time parliament don't have Barisan Nasional don't have two-third majority,
Majority. Yeah.
and it continues until now.
I see.
And 2018, of course,
Yep.
fallen off Barisan Nasional.
Yeah.
So, especially in 2015, when we start opening two high-profile cases, one MDB and also SRC International,
Yes.
and then I'm the person who facing all this kind of event. I'm not going to say it's challenges or trouble. It is an event.
Yeah.
That's my duty to investigate. We finished already on SRC. We have a big case now, a few cases on one NB, especially one NB involving 2.6 billion
Yes.
ringgit. So our track record shows that we have investigated both party divide, be it tunnel cases, Jana Wibawa,
Yes.
one NDB. If I can mention these three, I think that is sufficient enough for me to make you both of you to understand. And the stress that I faced since 2015. Okay, I don't want to go back to 2008. Okay, the stress I faced since 2015 because in 2015, at that time I'm a director of investigation division. And then I became, in 2016, I became Deputy Chief Commissioner in operation. Then 2020, I became a Chief Commissioner. So you just imagine that in 2015, I served with Barisan Nasional.
Yeah.
2018 with new government under Dr. Mahathir.
Yes.
And then under Tan Sri Muhyiddin. And under Ismail Sabri. And now with Anwar Ibrahim. So I've gone through all this period.
Right.
So I think by now, I'm hoping that public have kind of, public should understand how that MACC works. Okay, our structure itself, we were monitored by 5 oversight
bodies. Yeah.
body
Yeah.
since 2009 when we became MACC from ACA to MACC with a new structure to be seen independence. So we've been trying to explain to public that our duty is to investigate when there is a complaint.
Yes.
After we complete our mission in investigating the cases, surely we will submit the case to the Attorney General, and then they will decide. Of course, when go to court, there are many cases we lost also.
Yep. Right.
So how could that now people will say that okay, MACC become a tool, a weapon to the government of the day. So please check. So let's say now under Yang Amat Muhammad Perdana Menteri, after 1.5 years in power, Yeah, I may say that we have one case. I don't want to mention the name of the minister. We investigated the minister, but unfortunately, there's no evidence to charge him.
Right.
What can I do?
Right.
Yeah.
So you are expecting me to charge all the minister. You are expecting me to investigate all the minister. So I cannot be carried away with all this kind of pressure
Yeah.
from the public, be it from the politician, from the opposition, or from the government side.
Just now you mentioned about the bahagian penyiasatan tata kelola. Lately, we've seen more arrests of civil servants for corruption. What do you think is driving corruption in the system? Is it low salaries, or are there loopholes in the administrative system?
It's not about the low salaries here. It's about the opportunities and greed.
Okay.
As I said, I've been serving with ACA and MACC. I don't have any other agencies other than these two agencies, ACA or MACC. For the past coming to 41 years in service now.
Wow.
All of our cases, I can say, it is not about low salaries.
Okay.
It's not because of the poverty. No, this is not because of the greed. For example, the politicians, are they poor?
Okay.
Yeah,
Good point.
you have a point.
The cabinet minister, the KSU, the TKSU. I'm talking about the public officers corruption.
Yeah.
Public official corruption here. I don't want to talk about the private sector. If I talk about private sector, could be, I may say they are the bankers. Are they poor? Now we have cases against the bankers. Coming soon, there will be cases we're going to announce.
Oh.
And we have arrested a few of them in Malacca, for example.
Oh,
And now we have a
cases.
case where involve some people who use the bankers to make a kind of a fixed scam land sale.
I see.
It involve bankers.
Okay.
Who are these people? Are they poor? So in Malaysian context, I mean, say I'm not talking about other countries like African country. I'm talking about Malaysia. We are damn rich. Ever since we independent in 1957. When we got independent in 1957, and I checked all cases before that, when ACA been established in 1967, and I met also our first Director General, Arwah Tan Sri Harun Hashim.
I see.
He also said the same thing. In 1967, because we are too rich, the enforcement cases and the political corruption is the biggest cases being investigated by the then Director General at that time.
Okay.
And it goes now until now. It went well until now. And then, in 1972, because government so much entrusted MACC, ACA at the time, we became Bureau Siasatan Negara or Federal Bureau Investigation, or like FBI.
Macam dia.
We used to become FBI last time, 1972,
Right.
and then changed back to ACA in 1982 by
Right.
Dr. Mahathir.
Okay.
So, if people saying that it's because of the low salaries, my recommend to government, careful on that. Don't keep on increasing the salaries for nothing. You think that one will reduce corruption? It is about other things. It's about the it's about the it's about the greed. It's about the opportunities. It's about the system and procedures of the governance issues. And then people use that opportunity for their for their benefit.
So I suppose when you say opportunity, so the government always has to keep fine-tuning its processes
not only
and procedures.
Malaysia,
Right?
I mean, there are other countries like UK, US also. They keep on looking into the best governance in the country. In UK, for example, they keep on changing the law.
Tan Sri, on BPT, maybe can you expand a little bit?
Yeah.
What,
BPT, yeah?
Yeah. What is their role? What is their job in combating corruption among
You know,
civil
before
servants?
this division been named as Bahagian Pemeriksaan Perundingan in Malay. Checking system and procedures, but we changed it to the Bahagian Penyiasatan Tata Kelola, or Governance and Investigation Division. So we want this division to focus on prevention issues.
Okay.
Okay, how it works, it based from the investigation result, the outcome of the investigation. When we see there is a leakages in system and procedure that resulted to leakages. And then, for example, Mitra case,
Okay.
That's right.
it resulted to losses to fund for the Indian community.
Yes.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, yearly government loss because of weaknesses in the managing managing the fund about nearly 100 million per year. And then apart from that, they did not do their due diligence. We arrested some of them and we charged some of them in court.
Right.
That's not the thing. That's not the matter. It's about the way forward after that. So bahagian penyiasatan tata kelola, do research and do engagement with that agency, and then they come up with a kind of mutual agreement. These are the things that they need to execute after the event, and then by signing, both parties signing the agreement.
Okay.
So they have to follow the system and procedures agreeable with the
I
bahagian
see.
penyiasatan tata kelola.
I see.
So this BPT is a division to investigate from various sources, from our investigation or some other sources, resulted to leakages, loopholes in the system and procedures.
So that's also about closing opportunities lah.
Closing the gap
Yeah.
of the system and procedures.
I see.
Okay, so on corruption within enforcement agencies, Tan Sri, do you see the need for them to have more robust mechanisms, something like the internal affairs bureaus in countries like US? Do you think this will help MACC, or do you think MACC just needs more assets, more resources?
I may say that the biggest enforcement agency in this country is police department.
Okay.
Royal Police Department, PDRM. They have two division. They have one division now. They call it Jabatan Pemantauan Integrity, JIPS.
Okay,
Jabatan
yeah,
Integrity
JIPS.
Pemantauan Standard. They call it. This is a model that we promoted to PDRM way back in 2016.
I see.
I'm the one who visited NYPD, New York Police Department,
Okay.
in year 2011. I went there. I met the director of the NYPD. His name is Michael Campisi.
Okay.
He's been there for 24 years as a director. No political interference. I've been there for long, too long. But you know, NYPD known to be the most corrupted police department in US
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
Way back in early 1990s.
Yes.
But when they formed, they call it Internal Affairs Department, IAD. Same name like JIPS. So this division is checking their own officer by way of proactive checking, or they call it what's the term they use? Integrity check.
Okay.
One of the approach they use is by using undercover approach.
Okay.
Okay.
They are police officers under under IAD, become undercover officers, and then they do kind of some illegal activities.
Okay.
So they pay to those corrupted police officers.
I see.
Many of them being charged and been dismissed from office.
I see.
One of the case that they shared with me, they put a car at one place. There's money and also drugs in the car, inside the car.
I see. I see.
So they make a signal, send a signal to our petrol cars, and some of the petrol car went there, and then they checked. Some of them reported back, there's a narcotic, there's elements here, and also money. They brought back and they give back to and then they reported well.
HQ, yeah.
Some of them reported half of it. Some of them said that nothing found in the
I
car,
see.
and they took the exhibits.
I see.
You know,
Okay.
these are one of the good things approach could be used by many law enforcement agencies in this country. So as police, they have JIPS, they have IPCC now. But IPCC means for Independent Police Misconduct Commission, and other agency. I know they have kind of their own disciplinary division, but that's not good enough. Similarly, if they wanted to look at the model like JIPS, they should have that. So this division actually is looking into the issue of misconduct in that in the office. For example, in custom department, I'm going to suggest to Director General of Custom, if she like to use our expertise, I may claim that we are good in that. We have many undercover project cases that we can share with her as to how that she can use that mechanism, that approach in detecting the corrupt law enforcement.
That's interesting though, because I think you can use it as sort of a moral barometer, right? To
Yeah.
weed out the good and the bad.
Yeah,
And
you have
you're not
to show your
waiting-
effort here.
Yeah.
In many ways, you can do that. I mean, by using, there are many ways, but now I may say that many head of department, they are not so proactive. They are not proactive in there. They are more very conventional approach. So you have to be more proactive.
Alright.
Checking your officer wealth, one of the.
Yeah.
You see, so you don't simply put the blame to your officer without putting the blame back to you.
And I suppose when you say checking wealth, it's not just about asset declaration. It's about checking like what cars he
Yes,
drives,
checking
how much he
it.
spend. Yeah.
I believe many head of departments receive information from public at large. As what we receive from public at large about certain public officers living beyond means.
Right.
They also receive the same information. They can do their own checking.
Tan Sri, how often does MACC and JIPS communicate or work together?
We always push them to work with us. We instigate them sometimes. Sorry
Okay.
to say, sorry to use that word. And I may say that one or two head of department I mention here, they are good. For example, Dato' Anis, and a former immigration head like Dato' Indra, Dato' Sri Karuzami, now is a KSU of Kementerian Sumber Manusia, Kesuma.
Okay.
These two gentlemen, I tell you, these two people, they are good in kind of to ensure they really clean up their own backyard.
I see. Tan Sri, I would like to touch a little bit on the civil service. Now, the private sector is widely acknowledged to be much larger than the public sector. But then,
In terms of numbers lah.
In terms of numbers. Yet, we seem to see more arrests involving civil servants. Now, why is this?
You know, could be because we focus more on civil servant, and also the principle is because the government officers are the one who manage the government money or public money, public fund. They are entrusted to execute they are the one who actually ruling the country.
Yeah.
I may say that in terms of layman words. Of course, we have a politician, we have a cabinet minister and all that. But daily business, public is with whom?
Of course.
It's not with the politician. With its civil
Rank and
servant.
file, yeah.
They are the one who be entrusted to deal with the public, to ensure that all the delivery system is good, and also delivered well to public, and to ensure that everything about the economy, everything goes well.
I see.
But now, when talking about the numbers here, I'm not only talking about the numbers, about the seriousness of the cases. You see, when I mentioned that last year that MACC will focus on high profile and public interest cases.
Right.
I can share with you, for the past 10 years, for example, we addresses all cases. Even 10 ringgit, 100 ringgit cases, all petty corruption, we still investigate. We still, we still accept all the reports. We have to accept the report. But until then, in 2020, when I became Chief Commissioner, I need to change that paradigm. I need to do some paradigm shift here. I need to change that. So we try to reduce so much on that. If we include that one, I will say it will be bigger than this. The numbers will be bigger.
I see.
So, if you're talking about arrest, yes, it could be in one of the good indicator.
Okay.
One of the indicator thing to show that how serious corruption in public sector, especially in enforcement sectors. But don't forget about the procurement sectors. So some sectors could be already become systemic. So so much negative talk about the public officers here. So yeah, I agree with you. The numbers compared to private sector. That's why I'm not saying that we are not so much focusing on private sector, but some selected private sector is under our radar, like GLCs, government incorporated company and all that under MOF. So because they are also handling public fund.
They have an immediate impact on government revenue. Yeah.
So we wanted to focus on leakages here. We want to reduce leakages after COVID-19, especially.
Right.
we lost 100 of billion, I don't know, but could be 600 billion revenues not be collected, or could be lost in terms of moratorium and all that. So we now have to focus on as how that MACC, for example, to help government of the day to increase the economy,
Right.
to generate income and all that. And my part is to reduce leakages. Leakages can be two, because leakages can be one, revenues not being collected, or because the inflated of the cost.
Okay.
You see, for example, I may say there's leakages if the enforcement officers did not collect penalties, compound and all that.
Yeah.
Or could be because of they being compromised. They let go all the kind of
Right.
smuggling goods into our country. They did not collect money and all that. That is also kind of leakages.
Correct.
Okay.
So saving costs is one of the things. If we can save costs about 40 billion, 10 billion and all that, I think that money can be used for some other purposes.
Of course. Of course.
Government been talking of to reduce subsidy, for example.
Yeah.
It's about cost saving, yeah.
Right.
So that's part of a government, how to reduce subsidy, and then to go for the targeted group, and then to also to reduce smuggling activities. And in a way, MACC also is doing that. So we wanted to ensure that civil service this at their peak again, like what we have those days.
I see. All right. Now, a little bit again about the private sector. Now, how exactly does MACC actually monitor corruption within the private sector again, and what are the challenges in doing so? What are your plans actually to stamp out corruption
Private
in this
sector
area?
could be some sectors. When I made a policy here, if a private sector wanted to lodge complaint or lodge report to MACC, it wanted us to investigate. I want them to lodge report to MACC. I want a direct complaint,
I see.
because compared to the public sector's cases, some cases we investigate based from the anonymous anonymous information, and also from other various sources. For example, in the case of Aman Palestine, there's nobody come to us,
Okay.
but we look at the information we gather
Right.
from the social media,
Okay.
even from the mainstream and all that.
Right.
And then somebody come later on as a whistleblower. But in terms of private sector, firstly, they are so much affected because of some cases which is what you call gazetted under our act or prescribed under our act, like under 4032, these are fraud cases, cheating cases and all that in the private sector. So as what I said, I don't want to focus so much on private sector. If they've been so much affected because of that, they have to come forward and lodge report.
I see.
Firstly. Secondly, as how that we monitor organization belong to the government or any entity belong to like GLCs and or government incorporated company, be it at the federal level or the state level. So it's about these people, as I said, who they manage the public fund, billions of dollars. So we will monitor that. And some agents, some private sectors like GLCs, like Petronas, we have our officers as an integrity officers in that entity.
Right.
Felda, for example, we have officers in Prasarana and in MRT. So these are the area, these are the sectors that we will focus more, rather than private sector at large. So private sector at large, I will say that I don't have kind of mechanism to monitor the corruption activities in that sectors. But if we receive information against certain sectors like banking sectors, we will put our intelligence on that sector for a certain period of time.
Okay.
So Tan Sri, I would like to touch a bit about the post as Chief Commissioner of MACC. Of course, as you know, there have been critics who suggest that in order to make MACC more independent, the appointment of the Chief Commissioner should be put at the recommendation of Parliament instead of the Prime Minister's office. And that also the MACC should be put under the monitoring of Parliament. Do you agree with this, Tan Sri?
I disagree with that. For sure, I've been telling many people ever since the last 4 years, for the past 4 years, when I became Chief Commissioner. I mean, I may say that what's wrong with the current system that we have now, that and also especially when government has established MECC in 2009 with a new structure, new set of independence committee and all that. You know, we have 5 oversight committees, as I mentioned to you, and then I may say being a Chief Commissioner is a sleepless job. I couldn't sleep at night because facing all this panel chairman and all that, you know, keep on asking me many things, questioning me. I'm okay with that. So I may say that no other agency in this country been monitored by independent panels
More closely.
except MACC. Hong Kong only have 4 panels. We have 5 here.
I see.
Who put extra 1, what they call it, review committee, where this committee will give advice and their opinion on cases where we suggest to close, or DPP or Deputy Public Prosecutor suggest to close the case.
I see.
So, in terms of security of tenure of Chief Commissioner, I may say that we have suggested to government in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, in the meeting under Jawatan Kuasa Khas Kabinet mengenai rasuah. At that time, I'm the one who presented the paper about the, and I'm going to present it again to Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri, about the dismissal of the Chief Commissioner. Appointment is yes, it's okay. It's the pleasure of the King. And the appointment should be like the appointment of the Chief Justice, where the dismissal of the Chief Justice has to be under the tribunal. You just cannot simply dismiss the Chief Commissioner because of the changing of government, whatever.
I see.
You know, that I think one of the way, if the government like to be seen more transparent, and the agency more independent. This is very simple words I can say here, because when he talks about if he put under parliament, I don't want to mention any country here, but interestingly, you know, there's a country who are under the parliament. What happened to that agency now? Because it's under the parliament now, whatever they wanted to do, they have to seek the parliament approval, especially in investigating the politician and all that.
Right.
How could it be you been seen independent here?
When you are in the ruling coalition.
Especially the ruling party, when they the anti-graft agency have to seek the approval, saying that we are not going to investigate one of your members here. So okay, they will decide. The parliament will decide. So they are the majority. What will happen? So in our system, in our law, rule of law, especially in our Act, MACC Act 2009, and also under Criminal Procedure Code, don't forget about that one. The police and MACC, we have that freedom to investigate any cases or anybody else without any political divide. So we are more independent. The law is there already. It just matters if you don't like the Chief Commissioner, you change the Chief Commissioner. You don't change the system. If the Chief Commissioner is not effective enough, go to tribunal. Okay, you are not effective. You have to go. Or the Chief Commissioner, like myself, I'm very open here. If I think I'm not that effective anymore, I'm not going to wait for any tribunal here. I will tender my resignation. I will give up to my successor. That's about transparency here. So far, could be. I may say that MACC is doing good now. I hope that we will move on. And
CPI
then
doing better.
Hopefully. So you know, to maintain the successful is not that easy. It's not that easy.
So Tan Sri, your contract was renewed recently. Congratulations on this. But as you know, and as you've obviously heard, there have been people who were not so happy or questioned your reappointment. And perhaps you would like to take this moment to perhaps quash some doubts that people may have, and share with us your game plan for the next 1 year, and of course your succession plan.
Yeah, as I just mentioned just now about the strategy. ever since I became chief commissioner in year 2020 on March 9 March 2020. I just try to remember, getting old here. When people keep on reminding me about date, it remind me also about my dad. You see, so at that time when I became chief commissioner, we formed up 3 areas of corruption sectors that we need to address. One is on the corruption in the sectors of enforcement, procurement, and also grand corruption. Only focus in these 3 areas. And before that, of course, up and down. We also addresses all sort of cases. But until now, when come to 2023, with the strong leadership of Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister, Perdana Menteri, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, I have the strength that we should focus on these 3 areas, but on the high profile and public interest cases. And it will continue for this year and for the next year, especially when we are helping our country to generate our income, to have a betterment in economy and all that. So these 3 areas are important as they are pertain to national security and also national economy. Corruption can be many things here. It's not only about economy sometimes. It's about, of course, the social effect. So, for example, corruption in enforcement is a ban to the country as they allow many things here. Be it like smuggling issues and also illegal and other illegal activities. Smuggling, of course, involve kind of revenue collecting. So that's why we focus for the few months on smuggling issues and all that, involving certain agencies like custom and also police department and all that. But other than that, also we also focus on some illegal activities by some perpetrators and all that, and also involve some law enforcement officers. For the first 3 months. So we have schedule. I have a schedule. Now I announce it as I think I can't remember that I did mention early this year that we are focusing on the law enforcement. So it continue until this month. But not to forget, other than that also. So my officers here, I tell you, they are working day and night, 24/7. The enforcement officers and also from other sectors on the prevention, and also from the what they call bug and tata kelola and all that. So they have to work in tandem with the operational target. So if I then leave the system in future, could be for the next year or for another year, I hope that my successor, and hopefully it will be the person who from the system, from MACC, will lead the MACC. I'm sure he will continue the strategy that we have planned, not only me, but we have planned earlier and now. So it looks it goes well now. I think it looks good that my officers really understand about the strategy. So they are more focused. If they, for example, they receive many information, but they know how to prioritize information. Not those days they will lump all the information on my table. I have a committee, but the committee is led by me. They lump all the information on my table, and then we have to digest all the information. Which one that we need to address. But at the level of the ground officers, they know which one is the more important and urgent. So they are actually helping into executing our strategy effectively.
So Tangsri, just one final question. From all the MACC crackdowns, how much has MACC actually helped saved?
In terms of revenues collected, on one NDB itself, we had collected 70% from the principal 42 billion. About 30 billion, we had repatriated the stolen asset, together with some other agencies, of course. And other than that, about 27 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. I have this 25 billion. That is for the past 5 years. So just to stress here that we are not revenue collectors. We are enforcement agency who look into the betterment for the country and to monitor the issue of corruption and abuse of power. repatriation approach is one of the approach that we are promoting for MACC now. Apart from we are we are charging people. Sorry. Apart from we are charging people, we bring them to book and get them to jail. But apart from that, also we need to bring back people's money.
Yeah.
For example, in the case of smuggling, we will charge these people, but we will also repatriate the stolen asset.
I see.
I want to bring back the money for you all, not for me. I don't even get a single cent. And to be frank, my salary has not been increased for the past 5 years. I'm still receiving the same salary until now. But no doubt about that. No, I'm not going to that one as an excuse. I hope my officer also not going to use that as an excuse. I'm glad. I'm really thankful to Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri for giving us 7 million last year for the incentive to my officers. Even it's small, but really we really appreciate that. So I told my officer, if you want that reward again for this year, you have to work more.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and with that final question, thank you very much, Tan Sri. It was a great pleasure having you
Thank you to NSC
today.
for inviting me.
Thank you.
And thank you also, Naj, for being my co-host.
Awesome.
And we hope today's session will give our audience a better understanding on how MACC, together with the government, are enhancing their anti-corruption strategies to help combat corruption and abuse of power in the country. To all our viewers, thank you for staying with us. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that like button if you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to also follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and X at NSC Online for more news and updates. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Till next time, goodbye.